So welcome to this quick tip on these slick jazz chords that you could use for introductions and endings. So this is what it sounds like. Isn't that a gorgeous sound? So if you want to go into something like Green Dolphin Street, see, you could use that as an introduction. You could also use this as your ending. All right, so let's break this down. So first of all, let's talk about the progression. So we're starting with a C major 7th chord, then we go up to an E flat major 7th chord, then to an A flat major 7th chord, finally to a D flat major 7th chord. So notice, they're all major 7th chords. So the C major 7th chord is what we call our 1 major 7. E flat major 7 is our flat 3 major 7th. Again, 1, 2, 3, right? We're flatting the 3rd. Right? This is the key of C, same thing as C major scale. Take the 3rd of E, we're flatting it. So E flat major. Next is A flat major, which is our flat 6 major 7th chord. And finally we have D flat major. This is our flat 2 major 7th chord. Now you'll notice that the flat 3, flat 6, and flat 2 major 7th chords are all what we would call non-diatonic. They are not part of the C major scale. So we are borrowing those chords from other scales. That's a whole nother discussion. But just know that they are borrowed chords, okay? So it's not part of C, and that's why it gives it that unique sound. Right? You can hear it kind of takes it out of the harmony, right? Kind of takes it out of the key of C. But it's a great, great sound. Okay, so now let's make it a little bit spicier, right? Rather than just playing these block chords. So what we could do is we can utilize quartal chords. So now isn't that a gorgeous sound right there? So now I'm playing the root and the 5th for C, and the right hand I'm playing a quartal. What is a quartal? So I have 2 stacked 4ths on top of one another. That is a quartal. So it's the interval of a perfect 4th and an interval of a perfect 4th on top. There's my quartal. 3 notes separated by a perfect 4th each. Okay? I like to think of it as building the chord from the bottom up versus the top down. So I think of this as a quartal built on the 3rd of the chord. So here, this is built on C. You could give it a little roll if you want. Sometimes that sounds nice. On the E flat, there's the 3rd, the G. And now, how are these notes functioning in the right hand? That's the 3rd of the E flat chord. That's the 6th of the E flat chord. That is the 9th of the E flat chord. You might say, why is that 9 or 2? We have plenty of lessons on the site about all those chord tensions. So go back to Jazzedge Academy for that. A flat. There's the 3rd, the 6th, the 9th. A flat. And then finally, D flat. 3rd, 6th, and 9th. If you want to beef it up a little bit, you could double that root down there. Sounds really nice, huh? All right, so now let's do some more with the left hand. Rather than the left hand just playing straight chords, what if we now started to arpeggiate the left hand? And all that's going on in this left hand is we're just taking that root 5 root pattern that I just played as a chord, and we're breaking it up into an arpeggio. So root, 5th, root, 5th. So we get this. So beautiful sound. You can play around with this as well. Right? You don't have to arpeggiate all of them. Or change the arpeggio. Or see how I can arpeggiate the right hand, I can arpeggiate the left hand. Okay? So there's all different ways in which you can approach breaking up those chords. But using those arpeggios, it's a great way of creating this nice sound. It's especially nice when you're trying to do an intro into a ballad. Let's say I was going to go into Moon River. All right, so here we go. So nice jazz ballad there, all right? So I could play that, and that arpeggiated sound down there really lends itself nicely to getting into that ballad sound. All right, so let's talk about a pro tip. So the cool thing you could do is, let's take each of those 4 chords, C, E flat, A flat, and D flat. And notice what I'm doing in the right hand is I'm playing a triad. So just start by playing the triads on each triads in root position. Then you can add in the 9th in there, or the 2nd, okay? So now you're doing this, you're doing that, there, and then finally back to C. Then you can start to arpeggiate and break up these notes. Kind of gives you a John Coltrane kind of sound going on there. Then you could do other patterns. Try going down. Right? So you could get some really cool patterns going on there. Right? You could really start to speed that up and get really advanced sounding stuff utilizing those groupings. All right, so now if you want to see me break down all of the different practice actions, just go back to Jazzedge Academy and take a look at the quick tips there, and then you can get all of the practice actions where I break down exactly what you're supposed to practice, and you can practice along with me. So anyway, thanks for joining me for this quick tip. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next quick tip.